Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hello, please subscribe down below, give this video a like, and today we're going to be doing this pride look. And I started off just kind of talking to you guys, but I ended up telling you guys my son's birth story because he's turning 1 on the 4th of July, and I'm super sappy and emotional right now, so I'm sorry, but yeah, that's today's video. So if you want to hear it, just keep watching and leave a comment down below letting me know what other stories you'd like to hear. Leave a comment down below letting me know your birthing story, or you know, something funny that happened during your birthing process, or what you're afraid of during your birthing process. Thank you to Kat Lowe for being the first person to comment on my last video. She only has a few videos up, including a story time, and they're super cute and funny, and if you'd like to go check her out, here's her YouTube profile. Don't forget, I'm doing a giveaway once we hit 500 subscribers. It's going to be the blow dryer that was in my BoxyCharm, so don't forget that, and a $40 palette. So I'm going to try and remember to record videos and do a vlog of next week, because my son turns 1, guys. He turns 1, and I'm like tore up over it, but I would like to film the whole thing because it's like a memory. It's something I want to be able to remember forever, and it's super exciting, but also like incredibly sad for me at the same time. Like, I'm so excited for my little man. Figured today I would just kind of talk to you guys about my feelings and everything, because I'm a little tore up over the whole situation, to be honest. We're not gonna like show the colors and stuff that I'm using. I'm just gonna talk to you guys because, like I said, I'm tore up a little bit, and it's blowing my mind that he's going to be a year old. Like, literally so soon. It feels like yesterday we just moved into this house, which was almost a year ago in itself. But now we almost have a 1-year-old, a 3-year-old, and we've almost been in this house for a full year, and it just doesn't feel like it. It definitely does not feel real to me. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm super excited, but also at the same time I'm like, oh my gosh, time is just flying right by us. Do you know what I mean? Like, does anyone else, here, let me zoom in. Does anybody else with kids feel the same way? Like, you just, I don't know, it's like, slow down for just a second. Quit growing. Quit getting bigger. Quit learning so fast. Ugh, I can't even. So I know June is close to being over, obviously, because my son's birthday is on the 4th, so if his birthday's next week, June is almost over with. But it's just insane to me, and I haven't done a pride look, so I figured today that's what I could do. I don't know if you are enjoying it so far, but hopefully you like the way the end comes out, because I know I don't usually do a whole, well, I do rainbow looks, but not like, I don't know, for a specific reason. I just kind of do them. My husband was talking to me the other day, and he goes, when did you become such a gay activist? I was like, I've always supported gay rights. And he was like, yeah, I know, but like, it's like, yeah, I know, but you changed your profile picture on Facebook. And I was like, it's Pride Month, honey, and I want to show my support. I mean, I'm sure there are other ways I could, but, you know, that's something simple to say, hey, you know, I support your rights. I believe you have every right that we do, you know, type of deal. He was like, oh, I didn't even know that. I was like, yep, Pride Month. Surprise! We're gonna try and do a wing. I don't know if I can. I don't know if it'll come out the way I want it to, but we'll try. Sometimes I forget the colors of the rainbow, if I'm being honest, just because, like, not their names and stuff, just what order and stuff they go in. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and fix my other eye off camera, and I will be right back in just a second. So I'd like to try and record like the whole week, or like whenever we do something that has to do with his birthday, just because it's his first birthday and I cannot believe it's gotten here so fast. It definitely doesn't feel like a year ago that I was in the hospital having him. I guess since we're talking about him turning a year old, I could tell you the birth story. I mean, it's not like super crazy or anything. We had waited till like literally weeks before he was supposed to be born before we did anything involving getting ready for him. We lived in a very, very, very small house. I actually have a video on it. I'll link it somewhere in here so you can see it. But we lived in a very small house, and it was set up for us and our daughter. A family member had bought him a crib as a birth gift. That's what they wanted to get us for him. You know, we totally said that they didn't have to. No, none of it was necessary, but like, it had been bought for a long while, and we hadn't even gotten it from their house. It literally got pushed to like the last few days. With my daughter, I had pushed and pushed and pushed until my husband did everything like super early. So everything was set up for her, and we were just kind of waiting for her. And he was upset, you know, that I had pushed so hard when it came to her. So with my son, I had tried to, you know, be more relaxed and wait. Apparently that does not work, because he just didn't do anything until I was like, like 35 weeks. We need to like hop on this like now before I get too pregnant and something happens. So the house was super small, and there were only 2 closets in the entire house. That means like no linen closet, nothing. We had 2 small, like not even like walk-in closets, like 2 very small, average size, like child's room closets. So both of our kids had to have makeshift closets for their room. And I thought of this idea when I was pregnant with my daughter. I turned the entertainment center that we had into a closet for her. It is now my coffee hutch, since she no longer needs a closet. But I told my husband, I was like, we need to get him a closet, we need to get him a dresser. We literally have nothing for him. Nothing is set up, nothing's done, nothing is ready. I was in panic mode. Of course, at like 35 weeks, I'm nesting, like I'm trying to put everything together, make sure it's ready for when he got here. And so we started moving furniture like crazy. We bought an entertainment center for like $50. Rigged it the same way that we rigged my daughter's to make it into a closet. Added some closet rails, whatever you want to call them, and set it up. My mother-in-law brought over a dresser for him. We finally got the crib and got it set up, thanks to my sister-in-law and brother-in-law. And my husband got a carpet for his room, because his room was like linoleum or something like that, and the rest of the house was carpet except for like the kitchen. So he's the only room that didn't have carpet, and being the baby, we figured it would probably be better for him to have carpet. Of course, we didn't know how long we were going to be living there, so we got him a big old rug to go that covered the entire room. It was only like an 8 by, I think it was like a 6 by 10 or something like that, 6 by 8, something like that. And like the 10-foot was too long because the room was actually only like a 6 by 6, so we had to like fold it over and put it in the room to fit. And we had been moving so much that a family member was like, you need to chill out and relax. You're gonna make that baby come. Stressing out and doing all that lifting and stuff. And my daughter was still in hands at the time. If you're in Kentucky, or if you're in a state that has the hands program, you know what I'm talking about. But basically they just meet up with you and talk about your child's development, make sure it's on track. And, you know, make sure everything's going the way it's supposed to. And, I was talking to my hands lady at the time because, you know, I was still heavily pregnant with my son, and we were talking about my daughter, and she's about to graduate in a little bit. And, I was sitting there on like the 3rd, I think that's what day we met on the 3rd, and I was like, it would be so crazy, like so insanely crazy if I had him on the 4th of July, and then sure enough later that day, I was sitting on the toilet peeing, and I literally couldn't stop, and I was like, Vance. And he was like, what's wrong? And he was like, he was ready to, you know, sit down and enjoy his day, because like I had said, we were moving and rearranging furniture and getting things ready for the baby to be there. So he had been moving furniture and stuff all day long, and he had just sat down to play his video games, and I was like, Vance, I can't stop peeing. I think something is wrong. I wasn't sure that my water had broke, because like with my daughter, I really didn't have any bladder problems at all. But I hear that like you can lose bladder control when you're pregnant, so I was like, maybe this is it. Maybe I just don't have any bladder control and I'm just peeing myself. Like I'm 35 or 36 weeks, you know, it's very much possible that I could have just like lost all my bladder control and I'm just gonna pee all over myself now. I might just have to wear an adult diaper for the rest of my pregnancy. Like, maybe that's just it. He might have to run to the store and get me a diaper or something. So I'm like, I can't stop peeing. It literally won't stop. And he's like, oh, what do you think that means? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that means my water broke or if I've just lost bladder control, because it's just like a tiny trickle, and like when you watch movies and TV shows where their water breaks, it's like a huge gush and it's like whoosh, and it like blows everywhere, and they're like rushing to the hospital because like the baby's coming right that moment, and that's not how it happened at all. Like my water broke, and it was like the literally ittiest bit of a trickle where it like literally felt like I was just grown women that have had kids probably know the feeling, but like when you sneeze or you laugh really hard or you cough or something and you just pee just a little bit, that's what it felt like. And I was like, like I really don't know what that could be. Like I mean, obviously I knew there was a chance it could have been my water breaking, but I was like very doubtful just because of the way it was going. I was like, I don't know. It's not the way I see it in movies, so I don't think so. And I'm sitting there for a minute and I was like, I'll call my sister and see what she thinks. And my sister's like, you better go to the hospital and get it checked out just to be safe. And I'm like, the hospital is like an hour and a half away, and I have a 1-year-old who's about to have to go to bed because it's like 7:30 at night when my water breaks. So I was like, yeah, I'm like, let me ask my husband, you know. So I look over at Vance and I'm like, so Kendra says we should go to the hospital, and he's like, you really want to go to the hospital right now? Can you wait and see what goes on? And I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know if I should, because if I'm like really having the baby, the hospital is so far away, we might screw ourselves over waiting so long. And he's like, I think you should sit down and wait. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea. Like, I don't think that's a good idea. My sister's telling me to get to the hospital, and I feel like I probably should, just to be on the safe side. And my sister's like, well, you know what? He's got work. You're going to be in labor for a while if it is, and if it's not, you know, then no big deal. I will pick you up and I will take you to the hospital. And I'm like, are you sure? Because it's going to be 30 minutes to get to me, then like another hour or so, hour and a half or so to get to the hospital. And she's like, yeah, that's fine. Well, while I'm waiting for her to get there, I actually do my makeup, like not a full face of makeup, but I put like foundation, concealer, mascara, and eyeliner just to like, I put a little bit of contour on too, I'm pretty sure, just so that I didn't look dead, because it was already 7 o'clock at night. We had been moving furniture all day the day before, so I knew I was going to be tired, and I didn't want to look dead. So to just like liven my face up and like not have eye bags, especially since I knew if I was going to be in labor, I was going to have a long time. So I was like, okay, well, I just put a little bit of makeup on and waited for my sister to get there. I wasn't in any pain at all. I was just kind of hanging out, and we get there and they're like, well, yeah, your water definitely broke. That was your amniotic sac. You're definitely in labor. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, whatever. Glad we came. Glad we didn't wait like my husband suggested. So we're in the hospital, and they admit me into a room, a labor and delivery room. And this go round, I had hired a different photographer to do my labor pictures. Thank goodness, she was amazing. If you live in the Madisonville, Hanson area, I highly suggest Lindsay Stevens. Her business is Rose Colored Lens, but she was fantastic. She offered to come up to the hospital immediately and hang out. I told her to wait a little bit because I wasn't for sure how long I was going to be in labor for, and I didn't want her to have to sit at the hospital all day long. But she offered to come immediately, and she has a couple kids of her own, so she knows how long you can be stuck at the hospital. And she was nice anyway, and was like, I can come right now. But about 12 o'clock, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, I was at like 4 centimeters, and I was like, yeah, go ahead and get here, because with my daughter, every birth is different. If you have not had a baby yet, or if you're pregnant and about to have a baby for the first time, every pregnancy, every birth is different. None of them are the same. So just because you're hearing my story doesn't mean yours will end up like this. But with my daughter, I literally stayed 2 centimeters the entire time until they gave me an epidural and my body relaxed enough to dilate. So I went from a 2 to a 10 in like 30 minutes. So I had made it to a 4, and I was like, yeah, you better get here. Like, I don't know how long it's gonna last now that I'm at a 4. But she gets there at like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. She sits there with me. She's you know, taking pictures here and there of me, but like minding her own business, not really getting into everything, making small talk with me, being super sweet. And when I finally had enough pain, I asked for the epidural, because with all of my kids, my thought going in is if I can make it all the way through, I will. But if the pain becomes too much, I'm not going to be too proud to get an epidural, because I know I'm not that strong. And I'd rather have a comfortable delivery and be able to hold my baby and be happy than exhausted and be like about to fall asleep on myself because I was in that much pain or whatever. So I finally get the epidural at like, I don't know, 6 or 7 in the morning. And it was still pretty much a slow process from there. Like nothing at all like my daughter. My daughter came almost immediately after the epidural. But my son, there was a little bit of time in there. At about 9:50 I finally made it, or I'd say 9:30, I finally made it to about where I needed to be. And within a few pushes, he was out. It took a little bit more than my daughter, and I thought he was going to be bigger than my daughter just because it took that extra effort to get him out. And like, if this is too graphic, I am so sorry. Trigger warning, just to be on the safe side. But when I pushed, I could feel him coming out. Like, I felt every last inch of him coming out of my body. And I was like, yeah, he's going to be like a 9-pound baby. He's got to be. My daughter was 8 pounds, and I didn't feel any bit of her coming out. Like, I knew she came out, but I didn't feel it. The only reason I knew is because my husband was like crying because she was blue and he was freaking out. With him, I knew every last second. Like, I knew the second he came out, I was like, oh goodness, he's gonna be a big baby. And he actually only weighed 7'5". That's a pretty average sized baby, I think. He was born at 9:50. They laid him on my chest and he sat there with me for a little bit, and they actually told me to feed almost immediately, which with my daughter, they laid her on my chest and they sewed me up and whatnot because I had torn with her. And so she just got to lay on my chest for a good minute and kind of connect with me. And him, they like immediately wanted me to start feeding, which was fine. Like, they took him from me before I like got a full feed in to weigh him, and they were like, oh, his oxygen's low, we're gonna take him for a minute. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So they take him and they come back like minutes later and they're like, oh, well, his oxygen level was low, but almost immediately when we got to the NICU, he was fine. I was like, well, that's good. And they're like, yeah, the skin to skin you did must have been enough, because he was fine. I was like, that's wonderful. Like, obviously the scariest thing for a new mother, whether it's like your first kid or your second kid, I still think you're a new mother whenever you have a new baby. To me, it's a new experience every time, because like I said, every birth, every pregnancy is different. Plus, you're going from either no kid or 1 kid to 2 kids, or 2 kids to 3 kids. So everything's different. That's why I say you're a new mom every time, because you're relearning everything, and every kid's different. So you're picking up things and you're adding things and maybe changing things with the next kid, or so I got him back, we fed, and my husband went home so that he could stay with my daughter. With both kids, he stayed home a full week. he got the vacation from work and he stayed home. With my daughter, it was super nice because, like, we were new parents and had never dealt, you know, we were still learning. The whole staying awake all night thing was new and all that, so it was nice having him there for that. And then with my son, it was really nice because I had someone to help take care of my daughter, especially that first week that my son was home. So not everybody gets that luxury, and I know that, and I'm super grateful that we did. Alright guys, which lip should I do? Comment down below which one you think I should have done, because I want to go with berry or brown. We'll do we'll do berry. With both kids, it really didn't take me super long to push. With my daughter, I had a 3rd-degree tear. Wasn't a huge deal. It healed. With my son, he was a whole pound smaller, so I didn't tear at all with him. And it really wasn't like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I didn't tear at all with him, so like healing with him was a lot easier. I ate my placenta. I also have a story time on that if you want to look. I will link it somewhere in the description or in the cards somewhere for you guys. But I don't know if that helped my recovery time or not, but I've done it with both kids, so I wouldn't know the difference. I just wouldn't know if, like, I'd have better results not doing it or not, because, like I said, I did it with both kids, and I had great outcome from doing it, so that's why I went ahead and did it with Adam after I had done it with Paisley, just because I knew how I felt when I did it with Paisley, that, you know, it's like, there's no way I could do this and, like, have a bad result, I don't think. I'm actually using this as a mirror because it fits perfectly on top of that, but I want to take this white and pop it. It feels too big. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this look, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below letting me know about your birth stories or what you're afraid of when you give birth. I would love to hear either one. I love hearing birth stories. I think they're super interesting, and you know, both of mine were actually super easy. I feel like, all things considered, I literally I got so blessed with both my children, and I'm so excited for my son to turn 1, but also so sad, like, I'm not ready for it. But yeah, leave a comment down below letting me hear, let me know how your birthing story went, or what you're afraid of happening in your birth story, and leave a happy birthday comment for my son. He turns he turns 1 on the 4th of July, so my little firecracker, I'm not ready for it. I'm not. Happy Pride Month. I'm sorry I'm so late at getting to it, but hopefully you enjoyed the look. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.